Hello everyone, in this video we will talk about Service Endpoint and see a small demo on how it could improve the speed of accessing PAAS services from our Vnets. Without Service Endpoints, if we try to access any PAAS service from our VMs in Vnet, the request goes through over public internet and there are many hops in between and the latency is also there. When we set up service endpoints, the request directly goes through Azure backbone to access that PAAS service, reducing the latency as well as it is much secure. There are many PAAS services which support service endpoint, including storage. So in this video, we will see a demo on accessing storage and also see how it is different from private link. Here is my resource group in which I have a storage account and a VM. From this VM, I will try to access my storage account. So I am able to access the storage account and the hop count is 19. So let us create a service endpoint and see how many hops it takes after that. So I will go to the Vnet, I will go to service endpoint, click on add, I will select my service which is storage, and I will select my subnet in which my VM resides. So any VM in this subnet trying to access storage service in Azure will go over service endpoint and not public internet. So now it is being added. So it seems that my service endpoint has been created, and now let's go back to the VM and see if it has made any difference or not. So yes, we can see that earlier it took 19 hops and now it only took 2 hops, and the time has also been reduced from 14 milliseconds to 0 milliseconds. So here we can see that there's a lot of improvement, not only in hop count but in access time as well. All the data is now going over Azure backbone and it is much secure and much faster now. But there is a small issue with the service endpoint, because now any VM in this subnet, if it tries to access any storage service, will go through service endpoint. But what if we want to restrict, for example, a particular storage account should be accessed through service endpoint but not the other ones? In that case, we will create service endpoint policies. So we will go here and look for service endpoint policies. This service endpoint policies only works for storage accounts and none of the other PAAS services till now. So I will select a resource group. I will name it policy 1. I will select my Australia Southeast location. Here we can only see Microsoft storage, because currently this service endpoint policies only support storage PAAS service. So we can limit it to all the accounts in our subscription, all accounts in our resource group, or a single account. And we will create it. Policy 1 has been created now. So let us go back to our Vnet and create a service endpoint. So I will select the storage account. I will select policy 1 and I will select the subnet for my VM. So now I have created the service endpoint for this subnet to access the storage account, but this service endpoint will only work for the particular storage account which is specified in the policies. If I try to access any other storage account, the request will go over public internet. Let us see another use case for service endpoint. Sometimes what happens are security policies define that for any traffic which is going to the internet from our Vnet should first of all come to our on-premise, then it should go to internet. In that case, if we try to access the storage account, what would happen is that the traffic will first come to our on-premise, then there would be some firewall or filter which will analyze it, and then it will send to storage account. It will increase the hop counts and will also cause a lot of delay. In that case, we can create a service endpoint for our PAAS service so that any traffic which tries to access that particular PAAS service go over Azure backbone, and rest of the traffic uses internet from Vnet. So that is another use case for Service Endpoint. Now let us see how it is different from Azure Private Link. So this Azure Private Link demo I did in my previous video, for which I will paste the link in our description. So in Azure Private Link, we have a private IP address in our Vnet through which we access our PAAS services over Private Link Azure backbone. In this case, we can select a particular storage account. We don't need separate policies for that. We can select particular PAAS services to access. So that is one of the benefits. Another benefit of Azure Private Link is our on-prem resources having a VPN or express route to our Vnet can route traffic to this private IP address, and from here they can access the storage account or any PAAS service over Azure backbone, which is quite not the case with Service Endpoint. With Service Endpoints, if we have any on-prem resource and it tries to access the storage account, so it won't go through the Vnet private IP through Azure backbone. It will always access it through the public net. So this was a small demo on Azure Service Endpoint, and we saw how it can improve the performance and the speed of accessing the PAAS services, and how it is secure because all the traffic goes over backbone. I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe and press the bell icon for my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.